In the last video, we have seen managed resources and unmanaged resources and consequences of it if you are not using it wisely. Means if you don't deallocate it, it may be the reason of your software crash or your program crash or maybe a memory leak. So in order to use it wisely, we need to periodically deallocate it. So before seeing it, how to deallocate it, first see what are the other aspect which causes the memory leak or which causes your system to be filled with the complete your memory. So one component is that which is a basic component called object. So this is the thing which is a component which is required to handle your complete program. So object is a runtime entity or an instance of a class. The class and object we can see it later, but we can see is how object plays a vital role. So object, again, as I said, it's a runtime entity and it's a basic component of your memory. So this is the thing which occupies memory into your program. So we will be saying, like, when you create the memory or when you create a object, it occupies the memory, it gets stored into the heap, and slowly it occupies your complete the program space or your system space. And we need to deallocate it periodically when these objects are not in use. So before seeing what are the patterns or what are the concept to deallocate the memory, managed and unmanaged sources both, before that we'll see how the memory gets created or objects gets created. So today we are going to see object and the new keyword through which we can create the object. So hi, I'm Vivek Kumar and I welcome to my channel Buddhi Towards Wisdom. Please watch this video. It will of course give you some knowledge about object and new keywords. So let's begin. Everything works here is an object. So it is a runtime entity as well as real-time entity. So if you talk about objects, so objects are everywhere, and if you can take, if it is a hat or speck or your jar or your carrot, anything is an object of something called class. But class today we are not saying, we are saying the object. So class, if you talk about, it's something like a template where you have a behavior and other data, and object is a real-time entity of that class. But moving ahead, here everything in this world is an object. So if you talk about this little basket and shoes and elephant, so all are an object. Here one more example, and there won't be any reward for it. It's an pineapple. Again, it's an object. And again, if I still, it's a real-time entity. So question is like how the object gets created, and the objects can be different types. So let's begin with the simple one. So we have a new keyword. So mostly in many programming language it will be there, and in C# it is more widely used to create an object. It creates the object and the object gets created into a heap, and in heap if you start writing or using the new keyword, so different type of objects it generates into the heap. So here we create an object. This is for C# and for Java also we are creating it. So these are the sample programs for showing you to how the object is created and object occupies the memory. So this is for Python, and we can see other different languages also. So this is a Java script where we are creating again an object. Like the creation object works, so we have created with the program, sample program, where we have a class called animal, and we have two data types. One is species and another one age. We have a constructor for the same, and we have one method display info where we are displaying the data types and all. And here we have a main method where what we are doing is that we are creating an object of animal. And here animal 1, you can see it is an object, and where it is having a line and species and age is a parameter. So what happens is that after running it comes to the main, and if you see, it comes to that creational object, and we have the object created with two parameters, age and species, line and age 5. So this is the comprise of an object. So this object contains these are the values. So mind it. So we have these many information in it. So as we have seen in main we have this line animal is equal to new animal, and a line and 5 we are having the parameter, and we are creating an object of an animal. And in this, if you start creating the object, so if it is even managed or unmanaged resources, you start creating the object. So what will happen, it will increase the number of counts of the object. If you don't delete it, see in the heap these objects are getting accumulated, and it will filled with all the objects. And if you don't delete it, sometimes the time will come where you don't have the spaces, and mind it, object could be very large also. So if you talk about the managed resources, it is somewhat okay, but if it is unmanaged resources, you have the picture, database connections, and many different files like video files all comes into unmanaged, and they are very big. And the similar way, it will occupy all of your memory heaps, and one time when it was too much, your system may crash and memory will be filled, and you will get a memory leak. So in order to avoid such things, so we need to deallocate the managed resources or unmanaged resources in terms of your object. So object is a basic one, so that object you need to use it very wisely. So once you create, you need to take care of deallocating the object, so that this memory leak and other issue should not come ever. So here we have created the object again, and if you see what are the things inside the object here, if you create the object, you can see we have age and other parameter called species. So species, we have a lion, and age is 5. So this information comes into an object. This is a very simple example, but it could be a very large objects, and if how much large object it would be, that much large your object size and the allocation of that object into your memory. So this is it. So we have to use it very wisely whenever you create the object, and make sure you delete it whenever it is not required. So for managed resources, we have some patterns like garbage collection that we will talk about maybe in another video. And for unmanaged resources, we have iDisposable pattern, so that we are going to see. So here it was like how to allocate memory, or how the object gets created, and the further we will see how it should be deallocated from the memory. As you have seen in this video, that what is the object and what are the other aspects of it, and what is the new keyword through which we can create an object and occupies the memory. So in next video, we are going to see the deallocation part in somewhat detail, and I hope this video you would have found it very useful. So please keep other video watching as well, and please take care, and thanks for watching the video. Have a nice day, and please take care. Bye.